The geopolitical situation and all the things that prompt us to start this alliance now are already on the move. They're like a glacier. It will move whether we are on it or not. We can actually build things here. We don't have to leave that to other parts of the world. We can build stuff. I'm Peter Kirkegaard. I'm the CEO of IMT. We are a 100-person company in the outskirts of Zurich. We've been doing what we do for about 70 years. The main reason why we're still around is that we reinvent ourselves every 5 years. Two things makes us different is that we take what is essentially CMOS processes and use them for non-CMOS compatible materials. We manufacture almost everything we do on equipment from the semiconductor industry. So what you will find at our site is basically a wafer fab, but we don't use it to manufacture silicon. We take glass wafers and we apply micro and nanostructures in combination with holes, in combination with optical coatings, in combination with electrical coatings. We add that together, and out of that comes component for life science, flow cells, microfluidic components, components for a wide range of photonic applications, nano patterns or micro patterns for metrology. It's all just glass. To us, it's a fascinating world of constantly moving technology.
If you can say in one sentence what's your secret sauce, what would that be?
The people. And the privilege that I have is to lead a highly motivated group of scientists and production engineers and company employees that are the glue, namely HR and all the other functions without which we would be nothing. And I look forward to the next questions.
Yes, and I want to thank you for joining the Optica Global Advanced Manufacturing Alliance. You are becoming the member of the board, and in this respect, I wanted to ask you, why do you believe this alliance is important and why now?
It's in the wording, alliance. Without alliances, medium or smaller companies like ourselves and most of the players in the photonics or the optics industry would be nothing. Very few of us can go it alone, and I am still of the impression that most of us could benefit from a lot more cooperation than what is currently taking place. An official alliance will open the doors for cooperation. It will enable some companies to contribute in a more substantial way because they will involve themselves, but everybody will benefit, even the ones that are just along for the ride. Because if in the alliance, if the communication policy is set up correctly, if the flow of information is set up, everybody that just has an interest can read what's going on, and some will probably decide to join, and we will, in the end, hopefully be speaking with one voice.
Why do you think it's important to set up the alliance now?
Are you reading the news? So there's your answer again. I think it could have been done several years ago, and it could probably also be done 2 years from now. But all things considered, this is the century of the photon, and if we are going to benefit from that, we have 75 years to go. And the sooner we start, the better. Why we should start now with an alliance that is focused on the Western Hemisphere. Again, I don't want to bash anybody, but read the news. Now is the time for several companies to ask themselves, where are we sourcing from and why? And once they answer these questions honestly, also small or medium-sized manufacturing companies in the Western Hemisphere will all of a sudden be interesting as suppliers. And in order for us to speak with one voice, in order for us to have a platform where we can present ourselves, I think the right time for the alliance is exactly now. We have never shied away from larger assignments. So I think that what we can contribute with is, without any bravado or unnecessary bragging, we have an attitude of, we can do it here. Okay, we're only 100 people, but we can do it here. And if we don't know how to do it, we'll find a guy, hire him, adopt him into our team, and then we'll make it here.
What do you expect to get out of the alliance for IMT and generally for the ecosystem?
For us, I think we can learn. We can become a better player on the international stage. We export about 95% of what we do, but that still goes primarily to Germany. And for some applications, we also supply in large volume to the US. But I think we can become a better corporate citizen. And I think we can perhaps also become a bit more of a gung-ho, aggressive corporate entity by seeing how other people that have been better at this over the years than we are. We don't have to steal their models, but we can perhaps adopt and adapt them and learn from it. And so we are here to learn. Things will move on without the alliance. It's like with every effort of this sort, if it can contribute in a meaningful manner, it will either expedite things or it will make things better. And the geopolitical situation and all the things that prompt us to start this alliance now are already on the move. They're like a glacier. It will move whether we are on it or not. If we can really band up and speak with one voice, it will be easier to influence some of the political decision processes that politicians that probably have a very good will, but they're not informed enough. If I try to talk to them as a representative of a small company outside of Zurich, I will probably not be heard. But if there is an alliance of companies spanning half the globe, literally representing billions in turnover and tens of thousands of jobs, if we can align our message to politics, to the politicians, to the decision makers in society, there is a better chance that we will not, I'm going to be a bit easy in my speech now, that we will not continue to forget how to manufacture stuff in the Western Hemisphere. We can actually build things here. We don't have to leave that to other parts of the world. We can build stuff.
If we're optimistic and let's see, look ahead of us in 5 to 10 years, how big you think it can be or how useful?
How big? Any photonic company should have some kind of affiliation with the alliance because they see a benefit from it. They have to have a positive reply to the question that they're going to ask, what's in it for me? And we have to give them something. If we just tell them you need to be a member because, no, they need to see a benefit. How big it can be, I don't know, let's ask Pareto and say 80% of all relevant companies will be members and the last 20% will be recalcitrant that we will never get as members no matter how positive the message. We speak with one voice. It's giving the SMEs, but also the larger corporations, a sense that they are being heard, that they are being listened to. And it's like one guy singing in the woods, nobody's going to care. But if there's a choir, if there's a whole group of people with a uniform message, or if there is 5 people that represent a lot of like this alliance, we will be heard.
Or what moved you as the Swiss manufacturer to step on?
There's a multitude of questions there. We have to realize that there are fewer people living in Switzerland than in the greater Berlin area, okay? So if we are not part of an alliance, yes, we're not member of NATO, and we are not, all this political stuff I'm not going to dwell on, but we exist in the middle of it, and we can only exist as we are because we are in the middle of it. If we were on the fringes, we wouldn't exist, period. This is not a message to the Swiss politicians that think we should go it alone, but if they listen in, we can't go on our own. So your question is what moved us as a Swiss company. We export 95% of what we do. All our clients, partners, and business friends are in the 2 regions that you mentioned. So we are basically officially joining the party that we are already a part of. With party, I don't mean political, but I mean in the more festive sense.
I understand. Thank you.
You're welcome.